can you get for 500K? In the suburbs of southeastern PA, Chestnut Hill and the main line too. SellRealestatePA.com's where you make that next move.
Greetings, friends. I'm Josh Wernick, a realtor with Keller Williams Real Estate, and I just spent 48 hours auditing the last 120 days of sales data for every major town in Bucks and Montgomery County. If you're shopping with 500,000, some of these towns are going to welcome you with open arms, and others are going to laugh you off the porch. We are going through every single one, from the main line to the deep upper Bucks Woods, so grab a coffee and let's see where 500,000 is even practical in Bucks and Montco. All right, we're going to kick off the action here with Ambler. Okay, Ambler is not a $500,000 market anymore. It's an $800,000 market pretending to still have 500,000 options. Let's look at the numbers. The median price here is 800,000 with an average pushing 1.03. So if you're shopping with 500,000, you aren't even buying the average home. You're getting what's left, smaller, older, or a total gut job. You're buying below average with 500,000 in Ambler. Same town, completely different experience depending on your budget. If you want to know about Ambler and you want to see what changes are happening in the housing market there on a daily basis, go to amblerhousesforsale.com. All right, next up is Doylestown. Let's talk about $500,000 in Doylestown. Spoiler, you're barely in the market. Let's see the data. The median price here is pushing 900,000, so if you're shopping with 500,000, you're at the absolute bottom of the market. We're talking smaller homes, older homes, or a specialized project of some kind. Doylestown doesn't care about a $500,000 budget. To get a normal house there, you're looking at about $400,000 more. Markets are subject to change, but I'm not sure this one will that drastically to accommodate that budget. You can learn about Doylestown and homes for sale there at homesforsaledoylestown.com. All right, next up we have Bluebell. Let's talk about $500,000 in Bluebell. The average home price here is over $1 million. So if you're coming in at 500,000, you're not just below the average, you're not even in the same conversation, which means townhomes, condos, or something that needs serious work. That's the reality of this market. To keep up with any homes that come onto the market in 2026, check out bluebellhomesforsale.com. Moving on, we have Warrington. Thinking about Warrington for 500,000? You're close, but not quite there. Let's see the data. The market here is sitting in the mid 600s, so at 500 you have options, but you have fewer of them, and way more competition to get in that Central Bucks school district. You aren't chasing the market like you are in Doylestown, but you aren't leading it either. You can make 500,000 work in Warrington, but you better be ready to compromise on the yard or the finishes. If you want to see the houses available right now in Warrington, go to homesforsaleInWarrington.com. Okay, what about a house in Horsham? A lot of people think Horsham is still a 500,000 market. It's not. Let's see the data. Most homes here are sitting closer to the mid 600s. So if you're coming in at 500,000, you're not where the bulk of the market is happening. You're fighting for the few entry-level spots that are left. Horsham has moved up. 500,000 used to be the sweet spot. Now it's the struggle bus. If you want to see the available homes for sale in Horsham, go to horshamhomesforsale.com. Okay, well, what about Horsham's close friend, Hapero? Let's talk about 500,000 in Hapero. This is where your budget actually wins. Let's see the data. Most homes here are sitting between 450 and 550,000. So at 500,000, you aren't chasing the market. You're right in the heart of it. Hapero is a value play, but keep in mind the inventory is tight, and when a good one hits the market, it doesn't last. It's gone in a weekend. Buyers, be prepared. Have your pre-approvals taken care of long before you shop in this 2026 market. Keep up on all of the Bucks and Montgomery County properties that hit the market this year at bucksmontproperties.com. All right, we're jamming in Jamison next. Jamison is the place that people think is affordable until reality taps them on the shoulder. Pull that data. Most homes here are actually sitting in the mid 600s. So if you're coming in at 500,000, you're below the center of the market. So fewer options and way more competition. Jamison isn't exactly the bargain Bucks County pocket that it used to be. If you want to know more about Jamison, or if you want to see properties hitting the market in Jamison, check out Homes for Sale in JamisonPA.com. All right, moving on. $500,000 in King of Prussia. It's not as easy as it looks. What's the data say? Most homes are actually 600,000 and up. At 500,000, you're close to the market, but you're not where the action is. That means more competition, fewer options. The mall tax reality is definitely a thing in King of Prussia, which has graduated officially into the high mid tier. If you want to check out the houses on the market in King of Prussia, go to kingofprussiahomesforsale.com. Okay, let's keep with these epic turnpike access locations. Let's go to Fort Washington next. Fort Washington quietly got expensive while no one was paying attention. Show the data. Most homes here are actually sitting closer to 700,000 and up. At 500,000, you're definitely below where the market is happening. So in Fort Washington home sales, expect massive competition for anything that actually hits your 500,000 price point. If you want to see what's up to the minute in Fort Washington, PA, go to fortwashingtonhousesforsale.com. My goodness, what's next? How about Lansdale? Lansdale is one of the few areas where 500,000 actually works. Most homes here are sitting between 500,000 and 600,000, so you're actually in the market at 500,000. In Lansdale, it's a winnable market, but it's tight. So when a good one hits, you've got to move. If you want to check out some of these $500,000 homes before they're gone, go to lansdalehouses.com. All right, let's head out west to Collegeville. Collegeville used to be the place where people landed when King of Prussia failed, but it's not cheap either. What's the data say? Most homes here are actually in the mid 600s and above. So at 500,000, you're below the center of the market. So again, fewer options and way more competition. Collegeville has truly evolved into a premium suburb now. There are a lot of really great homes in Collegeville. You can check them out at bucksmontcohomes.com. Okay, what if we go further out to Harleysville? The theory used to be go out further and it'll be cheaper. Harleysville just wrecked that theory. The data says most homes are already sitting in the 600s, and at 500,000 you're close, but you're not in the center, so it looks like the out-of-town discount is officially gone. Okay, well, what if we go all the way over to New Jersey and check out New Hope? New Hope is where the price tag ruins the romantic vibe. The data tells us most homes here are well above 800,000. So if you're coming in at 500,000, you're not really in the market. So unfortunately, you can't buy the New Hope lifestyle for $500,000 anymore. But you can check out the homes available there at newhopehousesforsale.com. Okay, let's shoot down to Newtown. Everyone wants Newtown, and the prices reflect exactly that. The data tells us that most homes here are sitting at 800,000 and above. So at 500,000, you're not really in the market. The bottom line is desirability costs money. And at this point, Newtown is for the 800,000 plus club buyers. Check out these $800,000 houses at newtownpahomes.com. Well, what about Southampton? Southampton, you're right on the line of the market here. The data shows most homes are between 500,000 and 600,000. At 500,000, you're in, but just barely. So you should expect limited options and strong competition for anything at your price point. Check out the up-to-the-minute homes that hit the market in Southampton at bucksmonthousesforsale.com. Okay, now we're on to something. What about homes in Warminster? Warminster, the place where the math actually makes sense. Give us the data. Most homes here are between 450,000 and 550,000, so you're in the heart of the market. Warminster might not sound as fancy as Ambler, but at 500,000, you can actually buy a house here. See what's available right now at bucksmontproperties.com. Okay, let's go south a bit here to Glenside. In Glenside, 500,000 actually puts you right in the market. The data tells us that most homes here are sitting between 450 and 550,000. So in Glenside, you aren't chasing, you're in it. Glenside is one of the few areas left where the math still makes sense for the 500,000 buyer. If you're looking for a home in Glenside, check out bucksmonthousesforsale.com. Okay, what about Jenkintown? Jenkintown has a small footprint, big demand, and it's not cheap. The data shows that most homes here are between $475,000 and $550,000. So good news, you're in the market at $500,000, but be on high alert. Inventory is extremely tight here. If you find one, you have to act immediately. Check out these Jenkintown houses at bucksmonthomesforsale.com. Wow, we are on a roll here. Can we get three in a row? Let's see. Let's see. How about Abington? Abington, where the location, space, and the math actually work together. More good data for you. Most homes are sitting between 450 and 550,000. So at 500,000, you're in a strong position in Abington. But be aware, this is one of the most competitive little sweet spots in Montgomery County. So if you want to see what's for sale in Abington, check out bucksmontproperties.com. Okay, what about Flowertown? Flowertown sits in that tricky middle zone. It's not cheap, but it's not out of reach. The data says that most homes are sitting closer to 550 and up. At 500,000, you're slightly below the center. In Flowertown, you're competing with a lot of people for very few entry-level homes. If you want to see what homes are on the market in Flowertown, head over to bucksmonthomes4sale.com. Staying in that general area, let's look at Orland. Orland is a place people assume is cheaper, but it's not. Show the data. Most homes are sitting between 500,000 and 600,000. At 500,000, you're in the market, but not comfortably. Orland is a high demand pocket. Your 500,000 will not let you sit back and relax here. See what houses are available in Orland by visiting montcoproperties.com. Let's go over now to Huntington Valley. Yeah. Huntington Valley feels like it should be 500,000. It's actually 650,000. More bad news data. Most homes here are sitting at 650,000 and up. At 500,000, you're below where the market is happening, so fewer options, more competition, and it's no longer an entry-level pocket. See what homes are on the market in Huntington Valley by visiting bucksmonthousesforsale.com. Okay, let's get out of this area for a second and let's check out Percy. Percy, yeah, you think it's affordable, it's creeping up fast. The data is showing that most homes are already sitting at 550,000 and up. At 500,000, you're close, but you're not quite in the center. So unfortunately, it looks like that upper bucks discount is disappearing in real time. See what's up for sale in Percy by visiting bucksmontproperties.com. Okay, well, what if we go over to Furlong? Furlong is priced like the big names because it is one. The cold hard data shows us that most homes up there are sitting at 700,000 and up. At 500,000, you're not really competitive. So therefore, adjust the location or adjust the budget because Furlong is a premium zone. If you want to see what's for sale in Furlong, check out bucksmonthousesforsale.com. All right, hold on. We were on a roll before, so let's go back down south. Let's go to Plymouth Meeting. Plymouth Meeting is not exactly a bargain anymore. The data says most homes are sitting at 600,000 and up. At 500,000, you're below the center of the market, so the location is too good, and the prices have followed the demand for that proximity to the turnpike. See what options you might have in Plymouth Meeting at montcoproperties.com. All right, what about another turnpike exit town? Let's see Willow Grove. Good news, Willow Grove, you're in the market at 500,000, but just barely. The good data. Most homes are between 500,000 and 600,000, so you're right on the edge. You have to expect a lot of competition and very few easy wins in Willow Grove. See what's available in Willow Grove by visiting willowgrovehousesforsale.com. Okay, right in that area close by, we have Drescher. Drescher feels quiet, but the prices are loud. The data shows most homes are sitting in the 650,000 and up range. At 500,000, you're below the action. Drescher was really hot last year, and it's a step up market and not an entry level one at this point. But if you want to see what's available for sale in Drescher, head over to montcoproperties.com. Okay, here's one. Let's check out Wyncote. Wyncote is one of the few areas where 500,000 actually makes you a winner. The good data shows us that most homes here are between 450 and 550,000. So at 500,000, you're not chasing in Wyncote, you're in it. Wyncote is another place where the math still makes sense. It's a rare, workable pocket. Check out what houses are available in Wyncote by visiting bucksmonthomesforsale.com. Okay, we did Wyncote. Now let's do Windmore. Windmore is a place where people try to sneak in under the radar, but it doesn't work. The data shows that most homes are between 500,000 and 600,000, so at 500,000, you're on the edge. Windmore's desirable location means everything priced right is going to move instantly. See what homes are for sale in Windmore by checking out chestnuthillhouses.com. Let's do another northern one. Hatfield. Hatfield is another one of the few spots where you're in a strong position. The good data shows that most homes are between 475 and 575,000. So at 500,000, you're right in the mix. Hatfield is a solid market, so just be ready for tight inventory. See what homes are for sale in Hatfield by visiting montgomerycounty.com. Let's expand again. Yeah, let's go over to Yardley. Yardley, yeah, you hope it's reasonable and then the numbers hit you. The rough data shows you that most homes are 650,000 and up. At 500,000, you're below the center of the market. Yardley is an expensive and competitive type of market, not an entry-level zone. See what's for sale in Yardley by visiting bucksmonthouses4sale.com. Okay, we need more options here. What about New Hope's southern cousin, Washington Crossing? Washington Crossing, yeah, nope. The historic vibe comes with a historic price tag. The data shows that most homes are at 800,000 and up. So at 500,000, you're well below the market. Washington Crossing has very limited inventory and very high prices, so 500,000 doesn't really talk here. Check out what Washington Crossing homes are available on the market by visiting bucksmonthouses4sale.com. Come on, we can do better than this. Let's go to Pottstown. Yes, finally, Pottstown is the one place where you aren't trying to get in, you're picking. The Pottstown data shows that most homes are between 300 and 400,000, so at 500,000, you're ahead of the market. In Pottstown, you have more options, less pressure, and you get to be selective. You can find out what's for sale in Pottstown by visiting montcoproperties.com. Wow, that's great. What about Sellersville? Sellersville is another one of the few areas where 500,000 puts you in a power position. The Sellersville data shows that most homes are between 350 and 450, so you're above the market here. If you want a great house and zero bidding wars, this is the spot. Quick, see what's available in Sellersville by visiting bucksmonthhomes.com. Yes, we're on a roll again. What about Souderton? Souderton is where everyone figured out it's a deal, and now it's competitive. But the good data shows that most homes are still between 400,000 and 525 here. So at 500,000, you're in a good position in Souderton. But even though you're in the mix, the inventory is tight, so you got to move fast. See what kind of houses you could buy in Souderton by visiting bucksmonthouses4sale.com. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's head on down to Conchie. Conshohocken, you're paying for the location just as much as the house. The Conchie data shows that most homes are between 500,000 and 600,000. At 500,000, you're right on the edge. Conshohocken has limited options, but if it's priced right, it is gone. You don't want to miss out on that walkable town, as long as you don't mind hills. See what's available in Conshohocken by visiting montcoproperties.com. Okay, let's pick another gem here. North Wales. Another nice little town. North Wales is one of the few areas where 500,000 puts you in a solid position. The good data. Most homes are between 450 and 550,000, so you're right in the mix. North Wales is a workable market, but you have to watch out for speed. With companies like Merck in the area, homes here are going to move fast. See what's available for sale in North Wales by visiting bucksmonthhomes.com. Oh, here's one we forgot. Richboro. Richboro is a place you want for the schools, but so does everyone else. And unfortunately, they have more than $500,000. The Richboro data shows that most homes are at about 650,000 and up. So at 500,000, you're below the center. Richboro is an expensive and competitive market. 500,000 is the absolute floor here. See what's available for sale in Richboro by visiting bucksmonthousesforsale.com. More options, more options. Here we go. Chalfont. Chalfont used to be a Doylestown alternative, but now it basically caught up. The Chalfont data says that most homes are between 500 and 600,000. So at 500,000, you're just barely in. Chalfont has limited options and very high competition. Speed is super essential in this highly desirable area within the Central Bucks School District. See what's for sale in Chalfont by visiting bucksmonthomesforsale.com. Oh, this is great. I love finding you guys options. Here's another one, Dublin. Dublin is another spot where 500,000 actually puts you in a strong position. The data shows that most homes are between 400 and 525. At 500,000, you're in the market. You're in a much better spot here than in neighboring towns. So Dublin is a big win. If you want to see what's available in Dublin, just visit bucksmonthousesforsale.com and check it out. All right, now let's get crazy. Let's go over to Lafayette Hill before we hit the main line. Lafayette Hill is what some people call a mainline alternative, but the price tag is catching up. The data says that most homes are at 650,000 and up. So at 500,000, you're below the market there. So fewer options and a ton of competition for entry-level homes. If you want to browse the available homes in Lafayette Hill, shoot over to montcoteproperties.com. Okay, mainline insane time. If you want to see everything available on the mainline, head over to liveonthemainline.com. So first, let's hit Malvern. Let's talk about $500,000 in Malvern. Short answer, adjust your expectations. The no chance data. Most homes here are sitting closer to 800,000 and above. At 500,000, you're not below the market. You just really aren't in it at all. So with 500,000 in your pocket and dreams of living in Malvern, you either need to change the location or significantly change the budget because 500,000 does not talk here. See what homes are available in Malvern by going to malvernhouses.com. Okay, another big name is Bryn Mawr. 500,000 in Bryn Mawr, unless you have a time machine, it's not happening. Most homes here are sitting closer to 900,000 and up. So at 500,000, you aren't just below the market, you're out of the conversation. Mainline pricing wins again. Move the search bar or move the budget. Head over to brynmawrpahomes.com to see how expensive this area has gotten. Here's another big time name, Berwyn. Berwyn is the place people hope is reasonable, but the numbers say otherwise. Most homes here are sitting at 800,000 and above. At 500,000, you're not really in the market. The main line is consistent. If you aren't bringing nearly $1 million, you aren't buying a normal house. See the homes that are available in Berwyn by visiting berwynpahomes.com. Next up is Devon. Devon is the place that people whisper, maybe we can find something, and usually they don't. Most homes here are sitting at 900,000 and above. 500,000 is not really a reality in Devon. It's a premium pocket, and if your budget is 500,000, you're looking at the wrong map. See what these homes in Devon are going for today by visiting devonpahouses.com. Get your V's up for Villanova next. Short conversation about 500,000 in Villanova. It's a nice thought, but it's just a thought. Most homes here are sitting well over $1 million, and 500,000 is not even close to an entry point. This isn't a $500,000 market. It's a serious buyers-only luxury zone. See what I'm talking about by visiting villanova.houses.com. All right, let's see what they're getting paid in Paoli. Paoli is the cheaper mainline illusion that lasts until you see the data. And the data says that most homes here are still sitting well above $700,000. So at $500,000, you're not really in the market. You either need a new location or a much bigger loan. Paoli is no longer the bargain play. See the homes in Paoli by visiting paolihouses.com. And finally, we have Wayne. Wayne is where your $500,000 budget is about $300,000 short. The Wayne data shows most homes are at 800,000 and up. So at 500,000, you really aren't in the market. Wayne is a mainline premier pricing type of area. So with 500,000, all you need is a different zip code. See what's available in Wayne by visiting waynepahomes.com. That's a lot. All right, so to wrap all of this up, we have first the Out of Reach Club, Villanova and Bluebell. We're starting at the top here. The median in Bluebell's over $1 million. Villanova is 1.1 million plus. If you have $500,000, you're looking at a one-bedroom condo or a teardown. These aren't just expensive, they're in a different league. Bryn Mawr, Devon, Wayne, the mainline trifecta. Medians are between 800 and 950. 500 doesn't get you a seat at the table here. You're looking at a 40% gap between your budget and the average home. Doylestown, the heart of Bucks, the median is 850 to 900. At 500,000, you're not buying into the Doylestown lifestyle. You're buying a project that needs another $200,000 in work. The misleading, we've got the $500,000 Pretenders, the Ambler, where the median is actually $800,000, but it feels like it should be cheaper. It's not. At $500,000 there, you're getting the leftovers, smaller, older, high maintenance. Lafayette Hill and Richboro. People called these affordable alternatives. Well, they lied. Medians are 650 to 750. At 500, you're looking at the bottom of the barrel. Horsham, Warrington, and Jamison. This is the heart of the inventory trap. Most homes are mid 600s. At 500,000, you have options, but they are fewer and the competition is 3 times as high. The toss up, the battleground towns. We've got Conchie, we've got Plymouth Meeting and Collegeville. You're on the line here. Medians are 550 to 650. 500,000 can work, but you're sacrificing square footage for that location. You're in the market, but you're on the defensive. Chalfont, Windmore, and Southampton. These are the sneaky towns. Medians are 500 to 600,000. This is where the 2-to-1 interest rate buy down is your best friend. You're right on the edge. The safe havens where $500,000 wins. Hatboro, Abington, Warminster. Finally, some good news. These are the 450 to 550 winners. At 500, you are the average buyer. You have leverage. You can actually ask for a home inspection here. Lansdale, Dublin, and North Wales. This is your 2026 value zone. Medians are right around 475 to 500. You aren't chasing the market, you are the market. Glenside, Jenkintown, and Wyncote. These are hidden gems. In Wyncote, 500,000 actually puts you above the median. You can get character, a yard, and a move-in ready home. The power plays, the big fish towns. Pottstown and Sellersville. If you want to feel rich, go here. Medians are in the 300s. At 500, you're buying the best house in the zip code. You get acreage and you get the renovated kitchen without the bidding war. Souderton and Hatfield, they're still attainable. Medians are 400 to 475. You can walk into these towns with $500,000 and have your pick of the litter. Here's the summary. If you want the brand name towns like Doylestown or Wayne, you need to bring $800,000. If you have $500,000, stop being frustrated in Ambler and start being a boss in Glenside or Hatboro. The biggest mistake I see in 2026 is buyers chasing a lifestyle they can't afford and missing out on wealth in the towns that actually fit their budget. If you're looking to buy or sell in any of these specific pockets, visit sellrealestatepa.com and let's get you into a house that actually makes sense.